Boom. Yes, about that time. Reminisce show every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time live, carrying the tradition of Sankofa, because sometimes we got to go back and collect what we have forgotten. I go by Logic, and I'm here with my brother.
Mindbender Supreme, living the dream. What up? What up?
Absolutely, man. Living the dream, man. Fresh off the press, man. Blue Jays are now going to the World Series. And I feel like this is a very fitting topic for, the Reminisce show and all that. But before we get into that, because, I think there's a lot of nostalgic memories that's coming, for the possibilities. But let's do our check in, of course. Let
Yes.
me know how you're feeling.
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right. I gotta say, I don't even know why, but I've been feeling very weird today. Like I got this weird feeling in my stomach. I don't know if something's coming, if it's
Oh,
good news or bad news or weird news. I just got this like weird sensation that I'm feeling today. And I it could be nothing, it could be something, but I'm just gonna acknowledge it today. So
yeah, yeah.
my health is all right. I like I got like the rest of the week is good. I don't have any like major tests that I have to pass, but I just feel a little weird. And yeah, I hope it's just the changing ether. It's just a weird
Yeah,
time.
yeah. No, understood, understood. I feel like I was feeling like that, um, like last week and the week before. Just
Okay.
feeling really, really off. Can't really pinpoint. Um, and something, I'm sure I've said this before though, but like whenever I get in these types of like mindsets or vibes or whatever, my go-to move is just observation before participation. So when things are off, that's telling me that okay, I gotta like, if possible, to slow down, maybe just stop and observe. Don't really engage too much. Maybe it's just a time to kind of just like, you know, see what's happening around me, kind of deal, and yeah, like I don't force myself in that. So even for you, like, take necessary time to just relax and chill. And, if that means canceling, like certain meetings or whatever until next week, then, do what you got to do to feel balance or whatever. But yeah, I mean that's usually what I do in those situations. But life moves in cycles. We're gonna feel that, and then at another time, I'm gonna feel more confident and everything's aligned. So it's just part of the season change, I guess.
You're right. You're right. Yeah. So I'm just, just being, you're right. Just being observant and trying to be productive and moving through it and just riding the wave. But how are you feeling? How are you doing?
Yeah, feeling pretty chill. You know, this week's been pretty good, and like I said, like the last couple weeks, I've been emotions that have been kind of all over the place. Just still dealing with like the aftermath of my grandmother's passing, and some of the logistics that comes with that, and now we're like cleaning out her condo, and I'm finding some interesting things, some like artifacts, and like for an example, I found this letter that was written from my great grandfather to my grandfather, when we first moved to Canada. So it was like a couple months after they just landed. He sent like a letter and just kind of congratulating them for making the shift and giving some updates about some family and whatnot. And I'm like, wow, this is like my great grandfather's like handwriting. You know what I'm saying? Like written in 1971, or 1970 actually. Yeah.
Nice.
So seeing that, and just to kind of go off in a little bit, like my great grandfather, like he was actually like murdered, like killed in Jamaica. So this was just,
Oh,
yeah, like shortly after that letter, I think like a couple months or maybe just under a year or so, he was like murdered, unfortunately. So within this letter, I found a few like newspaper clippings from the incident. I'm just like, wow, I'm just discovering part of my history, my lineage, in this. So I feel like really optimistic, and it just kind of reminds me of like everything that we do when it comes to reminiscing, like documenting the past and all that, and how it really impacts and shapes our current, existence, but also, can provide new hope for the future as well. So
yes.
yeah, I feel like I'm feeling really nostalgic, and also not to mention, Blue Jays. I think it's a perfect segue to get into Blue Jays. Last night, I knew that they were playing. I didn't get to watch the game, but living downtown, when these moments happen, downtown becomes very loud. And when I, as I say, man, when I heard from the shout, I knew. I was like, this is a big deal, man. We made it. We made it. So it's to the Blue Jays, man. But you're like right in the heart of it, man. Like were you outside or were you hanging around for the Jays or?
I actually wasn't around to hear that noise, but I do the exact same. I don't know where I was exactly, but I wasn't in the core to
Yeah.
hear like where I had this super weird experience, to be honest. I like my sleeping has been weird. I was teaching a class. That's where I was. I was teaching a class till 9 o'clock, and I was in
Mm.
Cabbage Town. So
Okay.
I wasn't in the core. I was by Sherborne,
Yeah.
and I had gotten out, and I don't know what it was, but I was looking on my phone, and my information was kind of off, and I thought that they had lost Game 7. I don't know what I like the source of my info. Either I was like looking at some old info or whatever,
Yeah.
and in my head I was like, "Oh shit, the Blue Jays lost." And so I went to bed last night thinking that they lost. And then I woke up this morning and I was like, "They won?"
Nah, nah.
So I was like,
It's
"Yeah, I don't know what it was." I was just in a weird loop. My information was weird, and I just wasn't around. I know I'm with you, man. I normally totally hear when you hear honk 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 and
yeah,
screaming.
yeah, yeah.
All
Woo!
right, sports win, we won. But like, yeah,
No
I
doubt,
just
man.
yeah. So like, shout out to them.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was telling some of my students, because I was at the school earlier, and everyone was rocking their J's. Where's my J's fitted? That's in the next room. Anyways, everyone's rocking J's, and I was just kind of showing. I was like, well, back in my day,
Yeah,
with the the back to back, I was 10 years old in '92, and it was a
yeah,
great time. And I was just basically sharing because that was the time when we moved. My family moved from Scarborough, so we were living in like the Kennedy and Ellesmere area, kind of suburbs type vibes of Scarborough, and then to be downtown like Young and Bloor on Charles Street, for a few years. But it was like moving downtown and then having this like experience of winning the World Series. I remember there was like toilet paper in the trees, and it was just downtown was just so chaotic and just like the energy was intense. I actually got to see one of the games, Toronto versus Atlanta, and it was just such a big deal. So to see that type of energy, like we haven't got that experience since, and to see that energy come back, I feel like Toronto, like we need that from a cultural standpoint because there hasn't been much that has really brought us together, like unified in that kind of sense. Just for good energy. Nothing political or anything of that nature, which is still important, by the way. But
yeah,
but it's nice to have something which is just straight fun, good vibes, because that's the Toronto that I know me and you remember coming up, and just having that essence, that energy, right? So
yeah.
um
We haven't. I totally agree with you. And it's like we haven't had that on a super unification level since 2019. Since the Raptors won,
right, yes,
and like
exactly,
it's
right.
like it's like that's like 6 years now. So that's over half a decade, and like it's been brutal seeing like the Leafs were like they were expected to win last
Close,
year. They
yeah,
had like
yeah,
a really good team, and then they just same old story, just get murked. And yeah, not even like if the Leafs got to at least the Stanley Cup and then we're losing,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Toronto would feel so much better. But like
We
Toronto
would,
was
yeah,
yeah, but like Toronto is one of the world's greatest, most, definitely North America's most intense sports cities. And it's
true.
like, catching hella L's left, right, and center. And like, it's just not a good look, especially just on a whole cultural level. Like, bringing in various arts things and political things and just things that we've lost. And like, we just keep losing. So, yeah, it's really dope to see yeah. And not even paralleling it to the Drake and Kendrick battle, which is a hilarious, weird, like Toronto versus LA kind of joke thing that's coming out of the baseball thing. But like more so like people are like, yo, the Dodgers won last year, so they're just trying to do a back to back, but people are
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, people are saying, "Yo, Toronto." Like people are like, "Oh, Toronto's the underdog," and they're like, "Yo, man, Toronto. When we won our basketball championship, we went up against the
Yeah,
fucking Golden State Warriors,
yeah,
who
yeah,
were like hella the expected
yeah,
winners, and
yeah.
we murked them hard." So it's like they're like, "Yo, man, bring on this LA team. Let we gonna smoke them." And I
Boy,
love that energy because Toronto, like. I've been just seeing it from a distance. I didn't go to any games, but like this season seemed like a really great energy baseball season. Like it seemed like,
it
and
is.
it's good. Like also I saw the statistic that Toronto is the first team to beat a team that when we were down 0-2 in a
Okay.
best of 7. So us coming like that's the series against the Mariners. Like we were,
Right, right,
I was like,
right.
yo, man. I'm like, oh, I don't want to lose again. I
Underdog.
don't want to
Yeah,
even make
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like, oh, they said that this is a good team, but like, yo, they came back from an 0-2 deficit and won. So
yeah, yeah. No doubt, no doubt. Yeah, like it's inspirational. I'd always say like if the Leafs were to ever win, which they will win eventually, I'm sure of it in my lifetime.
yeah,
Toronto,
hopefully,
at
yeah,
least one. I mean, we need just
one
one. Just
once.
yo, the city will be turned upside down. Like you think the Raptors winning and all that was chaotic. Like yo, the Leafs, because you have to understand, man, you're getting people from like outside of Toronto that'll be coming. Matter of fact, probably the whole of Canada would rally around the Leafs at that point.
I
You know what
mean,
I'm saying?
yeah, there's gonna be some weird contentious energy from certain cities, but like on a level, like because I Calgary, Vancouver,
Yeah,
Winnipeg, and Edmonton and Montreal. Those are the main
yeah,
sports cities who all have NHL teams, and they'll be like, it'll probably be bittersweet. They'll be like, hey, we're happy that the cup is back
yeah,
in Canada because
yeah,
like the Stanley Cup hasn't been in Canada for mad years.
yeah,
Like, but they'll also be like, yo, man, like, and they'll be like probably half happy for Toronto because Toronto hasn't had it since like 1967 or whatever.
Mm.
But then part of them will kind of want it. I mean, the Edmonton made it to the finals last year, and I was really hoping for them to win. But yeah, at least at least Edmonton made the finals. But
Yeah,
yeah, they still lost. But you're right, man. Like if we are not even a hockey fan, but just knowing that the streets of Toronto will be like glowing gold if we win an NHL championship. Like
mm.
every, it'll just be a lot of happy people for that year. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, yeah,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
yeah, man. All good vibes, man. All good vibes, man. So
Hopefully we win
yo,
this World Series. Yeah, but yeah, what's next?
yeah, true indeed, man. So last week we had the chance to go to Talib Kweli. Got to see him perform at the Horseshoe. Which is pretty rare. Like I said, I was thinking to myself, I've been to several shows at the Horseshoe via Canadian Music Week or North by Northeast when I would just like kind of go through and check out some random bands because that's one of the best parts of those festivals. You kind of go to venue hopping and whatnot and checking out and seeing quality there. Well, it was a pretty cool vibe. Like and it's nice to be in an environment with people around my age. Like for a
Yeah,
hip hop show. I'm looking around. I'm like, yeah, like these are like hip hop. Like we grew up to this. You know what I mean? Of course we are here. And there was a few younger folks and whatnot that they're representing, but it it actually brought me back. And I didn't realize like how much, or it reminded me of how much of a fan I was of Quali. Reflection Eternal, like that album was very important during that time period. Like we like listened to that over and over again.
a
I wish he
tremendous album.
performed. I wish he performed for women. Like the inspirations off of Nina. He did mention it, or no, he referenced another sample actually, but he didn't do that. I thought he was going to do that when he said Nina. I was like, oh, but it was the other sample. But no, that whole album was great, man, and definitely good vibes. And yeah, man, like for me, it's just good to see artists like Quali doing his thing after all these years, looking young, looking healthy. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see hip hop get elderly, and
Yeah,
and see folks, right?
you're absolutely right because like a week earlier than the show was Talib Kweli's 50th birthday. Yeah,
Love
so
it, love
yeah,
it, man.
and
Need
yeah,
that.
he mentioned it. He also mentioned it briefly, but it wasn't like the same as like when Nas turned 50 or like some of these.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was pretty quiet, but yeah, like I saw on the radar,
yeah.
and he turned 50, so it's like that's blessing of a milestone, and it's good to see him living healthy. You're absolutely right in every way. And yeah, like it was a good show. It wasn't like super long. The last
Yeah.
time I saw him, he was in Mississauga, and he played with the 5-piece live band with Jay Period. And
Okay.
this time he just had like a single DJ, and it was dope. It was dope. The DJ was tight, and like the visuals behind was really good. I
Yes,
thought that was
like the visuals. Yeah, that
nice
was important.
that was a nice experience too. And yeah, like I like what hip hop has evolved into, where it's like this, where people take moments to like reference other music and bring in other music.
Yeah.
How I mean, it's kind of simple, but like just playing the Nina Simone sample before you get to
I love like
Get By.
I need that. That's a history lesson. He's turning like his stage into a classroom.
Yeah.
Like so good.
And then playing the Bob Marley before you go into Definition,
Right, right.
I'm like, yo,
Making
I
those
love
connections. Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Just like I love all
Crucial.
that thing. Like, so, and yeah, it was just dope. It was dope. We unfortunately didn't get our interview because he had the
Yeah, it
jet.
was kind of it was all good though. But just to your point there, I think as we go into like a world of just like AI and technology of blurred realities of like what's real and what's not, I'm really seeing, this just hit me right now, like the power of the archive, you know, like just seeing quality doing his performance or whatever, and then having like the historical contents of just like these different moments in time, that actually happened. This isn't AI generated. Like people are gonna get to a place where like that's stuff like that is gonna be like gold, even more so because it's like real experiences from a particular era. Like, yeah, we can go on AI and create, hey, make it look like the 90s, or whatever. But it's like, no, this is actual footage from the 90s.
Yeah,
This is actual from the 2000s and whatnot. And I think artists, who are older, that I feel like that's like going to be like a really big asset because it's not just performing. There's also the education element. So like you said, like putting like the samples in between modern. I don't know how many like young artists like do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that kind of context. But I think as an older artist, in the context of like the griots and the storytellers, like it's genius. It's like modern day griot, like, and then connecting all the dots, very similar to the movie Sinners, in that music scene of connecting all the different things. So it's not like we're just one timeline, it's a very interdimensional, intergenerational experience.
you're absolutely right. You're right.
Boom.
Yo, actually, yeah. Well, it's something Talib doesn't say anymore, but he said it on the first Black Star album, and I love the idea. He's like, we're real life documentarians. That's what he said it multiple times. It's a thing that he used to say, and I'm like, that is what we
Oh,
are. It's like we're real life documentarians, and it's like
yeah, yeah. It's
what the music is capturing, like just snapshots in time.
living archive, yo. You know what I mean? Like it will, like we hang apart our coat when we can no longer do what we do. When we've transitioned into another life form or something. But it's
Hey, speaking of that, I want to
mm,
take that moment and just jump off to the Big L and Nas song.
woo.
Is Oh
Love
my
that,
god!
man. Big
Because like
L, big.
this is a really, honestly, this is for sure 2025 is the best year of hip hop out of all of
I
2020
agree.
without question. Gunshots, but like October, I will never forget as one of the
Yeah,
greatest months, maybe of the decade, and I will never forget two things that happened this month: the Mobb Deep album dropping,
yeah.
and the fact that we're getting a new Big L
Wow,
album on Halloween.
crazy,
We
crazy.
finally got. I'm like, we live to see a
Yeah,
Big L
yeah.
and Nas song. Like, oh,
Like
yo,
I'm excited to that Big L and Nas song. As I mentioned before, like it really brought me back to that nostalgic essence of hip hop and what made me not just fall in love with it. I was already hooked, but artists like Big L made me want to like like really start getting into music. Like I like the I mean Big L and Nas really and a few others, but just that energy, like the sound, the lyricism, the wittiness of it, where certain things you got to do some research to understand like what they're talking about. Man, it made me want to be smarter. I wanted to have something intentional to say. I didn't want to just rap just to rap. I want to actually say something. So hearing Big L back and it just shows that like when you have a certain kind of essence, it's really timeless. It doesn't matter if it drops 20 years ago, now, 50 years from now is still going to be fire.
You nailed it
Yeah,
because I'm like, we listening to it, and I'm like, okay, I'm a Big L like
yeah,
super lover, super fan. Like I told you, like I cried like a fucking baby on December 15th. No, February 15th,
yeah,
1999.
yeah,
I will never, oh my god. But like hearing that, and like I listened to so much Big L. So when the song dropped, I was listening and I'm like, these motherfuckers did it. This is a brand new Big L verse that's never been heard
yes. I
before.
love that.
And it's like, I'm
We
like,
need it.
that kind of thing you pray for. You're like, hopefully there's a couple Biggie verses left. Hopefully that, that come out at the
Yeah,
right time for like special moments. But it's like, all right, they're saying they got a Big L album. And the first song with Nas, brand new verse, no one ever heard before. And as you said, you're like, yo, this wordplay is like murdering shit out that's 20 years later. Like,
I
it's
love it,
just,
man.
it's still
Yeah,
sharp. He's just killing it. He's got dope flows. It's him. He's rhyming like himself, and he's like murking this beat. Like it's the essence of New York. It's just, and as you said, it is absolutely timeless. Like just like couldn't ask for anything better. So
yeah, yeah. Well,
and
it's gonna
yeah,
be
just adding to that, yeah. Word on the street is that Jay-Z is also on the Big L album.
okay. Jigga Man's on the. Like I said before, man. Like yeah, we know what happened last time. But anyways, it's gonna be interesting to see. You know, how it's going to come about. I'm sure it's going to be a fire track. Like I'm sure every record is going to be on point. And like you said, I hope these are all brand new verses that we haven't heard. And I mean, if there's some verses that are recycled, like it's all good same way. It's nice to hear new renditions, but we prefer if it's just fresh. It's like wow, man, like the spirit never died. Type vibes.
Yo,
It's like,
and the thing
like
is,
he never left.
yo, for real. And the thing is, if they take some old stuff, like just do something like new and big with it, like
Right. Yeah.
Dr. Dre remix, Just
Yeah.
Blaze remix, Kanye, or like just
Right.
be like,
Right. Right.
yo,
Right.
like Diamond D remix. You're like, oh shit,
Right.
yo, like this is cool. You got like a fresh new beat and you do a new DJ or something on it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I just like do something honorable to it. So yeah, I think that'll be cool. And like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna be shedding tears, man, because this Mobb Deep album, whoo, it's a masterpiece. It's so good. It's so
Yeah,
good.
man. No, it came out real nice. I mean, you know what? This year there's been a few projects that I've felt, and I did like the Clips project grew on me as well. At first I was just like, yeah, it's all right, but then I started listening from different perspectives, and I'm like, okay, man, that's what's up. Like I like to hear grown, well, in certain songs, like like grown perspectives of like life and death and transition of parents, and like to me, like this is where hip hop should be moving towards. We need to hear some of these narratives because it's real. Because if we're like real life documentarians, which I love, which makes a lot of sense because hip hop is like the CNN of the times, as Chuck D has always said.
That's the real. That's it.
So yeah, so we want to hear those struggles. Yeah, talk about what it was like to be your mother's like PSW, or seeing family members transition, or whatever, like like divorce, like I don't know, like things that happen in life. Let's hear about it.
Hey, I'm gonna drop to you the realest revelation I think maybe of the year that just
Mm,
came out. That's super brave, that I can also like relate to personally with my
yeah.
family, but it just came out like a couple of days ago. Gucci Mane confessed that he's been schizophrenic most of his adult life, and that it's been his girlfriend who's been saving his ass. Gucci Mane and his girlfriend came out, and he's like, "Yo, man, I've been dealing with schizophrenia." Like he's like, "I'm confessing it. I have
Oh,
mental health issues, and like he's like, without my wife, I would have like my whole career would not have happened." And he's like,
wow. Oh, see what I'm talking about? Now
"Yeah," and it's
that
like,
is, yo, hold on, wait. Let's give that's some powerful stuff right there.
yeah, man, because
Because
it's like Gucci Mane. You like we know, like
yeah,
he's a
yeah,
very
yeah,
unique individual. Like that makes a lot of sense. He's been in and out of jail. People are like he's lost a lot of weight. He's gone through a lot of
yeah.
stuff.
Well, the reason why for me, like I find it really profound because it's like a shift in. Well, I don't want to get too deep, but I've always seen, like, when it comes to like celebrity couples and just like black love in general, like it's kind of been weaponized in like a negative way. There's always dysfunction and whatnot. But
Yeah,
seeing Gucci Man and his wife in this kind of case where it's like, okay, we're not saying the relationship's perfect or whatever, but there is that commitment to support and the recognition that parties are enhancing each other, but also just dealing with some of his flaws and admitting to be like, hey, look, if I didn't have my girl, my wife, then things would not be as successful. Like, just to even voice that as a man is incredibly powerful. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like these types of honest narratives is what we need to see more of, instead of this like performative, like, yeah, boss CEO did it on my own. Like, no, that's not true. Like, you nobody can do anything. You can't get to those levels on your own. That's impossible. That's
Impossible.
impossible.
No, no, nobody
Tell the
ever did.
truth, man. Tell the truth.
Yeah, yeah, and like, yeah, like we us as black people, we have enough toxic relationship, like stereotypes, and like, like the love. I can't watch an episode of Love and Hip Hop, man. I can't do that, man. I'm
I've
like,
never watched, like, I've never been drawn to any of those types of like programs because, listen,
neither.
man, what I mean, like, we grew up in the 90s, you know what I mean? So I grew up in a time where, we had Living Single, The Cosby Show, like Fresh Prince, like Martin,
Different world.
Lovejoy, a different world, like all of these, like, just abundance of like beautiful and positive black representation. You know what I mean?
Yes,
So we're
for real.
spoiled. Like, I was like
Oil,
cultivated in that, like
oil.
cultivate, like dripping and oozed in that. So when I see this, I'm like, I can't relate to that, man. It's like,
And I don't feel it. Doesn't speak to. And I'm like, yo, I'm like, I do. I'm like, on a variety of levels. If it's just like loving hip hop itself, it's that. But if it's like loving of sex, I do that. And I'm like, I'm
yeah,
so much love in hip hop. But I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
I'm not the love in hip hop if it's like this toxic relationship
yeah,
madness that
man,
you see, and it's like, but
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Thinking like
like,
Lost
but,
Boys Renee, man. It's tune about the sunny named Renee that I met one day.
eh,
Yo,
so yeah, what else is in the news? What else is in the news? Yeah, I mean, wait, NBA basketball season starts tomorrow. Uh,
okay, that's what's up. That's what's up.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Raptors.
went to the pregame last Friday. We got some tickets. Brought some of my youth to the game. We never been to a Raptors game before, and we won. It
Oh,
was against
word! What
Brooklyn
was your
Nets.
first Raptors game?
No, not mine. I
Oh
no, I
yeah,
didn't.
okay,
My
okay,
some of my students, they never like been and whatnot, so they really enjoyed themselves. But yeah, that's good to know that the season is back. The city's gonna be bumping. There's gonna be a lot of movements. All the sports are active. Actually,
yeah.
hold on. So all the sports are active at the same time. Then
All four. There's this. Yeah, man. This is the
that's
1 week.
interesting,
This
right?
is this 1 week. I always talk.
Active.
I see it in my brain. There's a 1 week in October where all
Right,
four sports are usually
right.
happening, and I'm like, I want to. There's got to be a name for it, but like, yeah, man.
This makes me want to like go to a bar. Like, I'm not a bar kind of guy, but like during these times, like this is if you're
Yeah,
gonna go to a bar,
yeah,
this is when you want to go.
exactly, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this is
true.
when you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yo, the energy is, yeah, it is really good
No, the
energy.
energy's intense. Like, you'll never see Toronto this happy, like in a genuine way. You
No,
know what I'm saying? Like, super
yeah,
genuine happiness. Like, people smiling at you. Someone might even buy you a beer.
yeah,
Like,
yes, facts, facts. Oh man,
it's
yeah. Oh wow, yeah. We really could use a win, man. We could use
no,
a,
we need it, bro. We need that,
and it's
We
like, yo,
need it.
these guys won last year, man. Y'all don't need to win again. Fuck out of here. Yeah, and LA, yeah. So variety of reasons, but yeah, I've got hope. What else? I didn't go, but yeah, Freddie Gibbs was in town. Couple
Yeah,
days ago on Sunday. Alchemist was DJing. Alchemist been here so many times.
I know he's
Alchemist
kind of like regular now. You know what I
four
mean? But
times
hey,
this
but
year. Yeah, I know
that's
enough
cool.
times. Yeah, it's all
So
good, man.
like, yeah, we gotta get that interview, man. Put it out there in the universe. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So make something happen.
Yes, yes. I hollered at him at Twitter. I hollered at him a bunch of times, and like one time he like hit me back. So he's like,
It's
yeah,
peace.
it's a quick little what up. But I was like, yo, what up?
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, I mean, lots of great Toronto energy. OVO Vibes Cartel is right around the corner. People are gearing to that. I know they got 3 shows instead of 2, which
So,
is which is nice. I haven't gotten any tickets yet. I'm hoping that maybe one of my links may just come through and bless me and whatnot. But we'll see what's up. We'll
yeah,
see.
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, but I think like definitely it's important to be in the building just off the strength of community culture and just like collective energy, in one space. Because Vibes Cartel come to Toronto, there's a big dance hall community, Jamaican community out here, and it'd be crazy. Now, I'm pretty good at making like OVO predictions, like I'm pretty good. Like I've predicted a lot of things that have come to pass.
You are.
I think what would make this even more crazier. I mean, having Popcorn there is pretty, like, of course, Popcorn's already OVO. Like, he's going to be there. They're going to perform Clark's. Cool. It would be absolutely mad if Movado comes. If
That
they
would
have
be.
Vibes Cartel and then Movado comes through and they
Yeah.
do a little back to back, whatever, whatever, but then they like hug each other and be like, yo, me brethren and this and that. And like, yo, Toronto, Jamaica, boy. Yo, I promise you, it would be like a mod thing. Like, that would
Right.
just go. Because I'm like, what? Like, it's already big that Drake is and OVO are bringing Vibes Cartel, but what could actually make it on a next level?
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And I
That's a.
really hope they do it just off the strength of, just for dance hall culture,
Yeah.
history, just what Toronto means and how much us as Toronto, because we've been having the debates of, especially if you came up in the early 2000s when they were really going at it before Vibes went to jail and so on and so forth. Yo, that energy was strong, yo. The Movado crowd was very strong, Vibes Cartel strong, but to
Mhm.
have them together, I promise you, man, that is going to be it. Make it happen, y'all. Speak it to the universe. Boom.
Speak it to the universe. You already done. You already done predicted two of them things already. So make it a good trifecta
That's
trinity.
it, man. That's it.
Oh
That's
yes,
it.
yeah. We'll see. Hopefully, not too far from now. But
Yeah, man.
oh yes, yes. It's Talib Kweli. What else been happening? What else happening? Uh,
It's pretty much that. Yeah, yeah.
he's to D'Angelo. I don't know if yeah, we didn't get to talk about it. Yeah,
Right, yo. Rest in peace,
yeah,
D'Angelo,
we
yo.
just gotta say
Mm,
something because last week we were at Dalton's book launch.
that's right. That's right. Oh yeah, right. Also building that real quick. But yo, rest in peace, D'Angelo. And
Yeah,
like I said, like, he made a huge impact, but I guess like I didn't realize how much of an impact just from a musical soul level and just learning more about his philosophy and his connection to music. You hear these artists, but um a lot of artists, don't really, you don't really get to see like, what's their angle, like where's all this coming from, and I've always been really interested in artists who haven't really quite been able to deal with like fame, you know, as well as others, where it's just like a lot
yeah.
for them, like
He
those
hated
type
it.
of artists I always pay attention to, because I'm like, you haven't lost your humanity, I see. It's like you haven't no and again, there's no shade to anybody who's been able to play the game or whatever, but I've always been interested, in artists like D'Angelo, Kurt Cobain and so on and so forth. So yeah, but I
Oh,
know
you
like you've been. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, you nailed it, man. I've been really big on D'Angelo. I was a big fan. I'm pretty sure it was my lovely twin brother who gave me like my first D'Angelo tape. So
Okay.
I was a fan of D'Angelo from '96, Brown Sugar. And I was waiting. Voodoo dropped. I just rinsed that hard, and then when the pandemic came out, I played Black Messiah like crazy, and like I'll never forget. There's a point in time in my life where a D'Angelo concert, he played twice in Toronto. And the first time I missed it. Second time there was a show scheduled at Massey Hall. I bought an $80 ticket, and at that time in my life, that was the most I'd ever paid for anything. And I was like, I don't care. This is like the best $80 ever. But then the show got canceled because like for various reasons, D'Angelo just
Right. Okay.
canceled. So and like he's not a public dude. So it took about 10 years for him to actually come back and like drop another album and go back on tour again. So I was waiting the entire 10 years, like I am not missing this man
Yeah.
when he comes.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was so important for me. So he came and he came to Sound Academy. Yeah, I think it was still Sound Academy at the time. It wasn't Rebel yet.
Mm,
But so I saw him, and it was church. It was spectacular, tremendous, phenomenal,
hmm
like 8, 9 piece, just black, greatness in the band, and he was just like funk, soul, jazz, church, everything's R&B,
Yeah.
excellence, sexiness, brilliance. So yeah, I did get to see him once. Never got to meet him or shake his hand or like take a picture or nothing. He was, you know, super private. And but apparently Ty Harper got to meet him. Ty Harper, I read a story on Facebook.
Right. Dope.
And Ty said he met him at a HMV in-store, which was
Oh, I remember those. Those are
oh totally
oh
holy shit.
yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, like I'm like I think today is the
Oh,
first day
you
that
frozen? Where we at?
I hear you. Yeah. You hear me? You see me?